Scared of heights. Seriously?
Yeah, interesting setup we have going on here. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the first of our 4 press conferences here on the practice day of the 2022 Albany, New York Regional of the NCAA Division I Men's Hockey Championships. We have our first one today, Minnesota State Mavericks, the #1 team ranked in the country, 35-5-0 on the season, 23-3 in the CCHA. They earned an automatic bid by winning the CCHA tournament's title. Some could say twice, over Virginia State, 2-1 in overtime. We have us here today, we have head coach Mike Hastings. Mike in his 10th season at the helm, 261, 91, and 24 record into the weekend, his 7th NCAA tournament appearance in 10 seasons. We also have senior goalie Dryden McKay, native of Downers Grove, Illinois, 2022 Hobey Baker Top 10 honoree and 2-time ACHA All-American, and a 3-time Conference Goaltender of the Year. Also Nathan Smith, junior forward out of Hudson, Florida, CCHA Forward of the Year, and also a 2022 Hobey Baker Top 10 honoree, tied for the team lead in scoring this year with 18 goals and 31 assists in 34 games. We also have senior defenseman Wyatt Ahmet, a native of Hermantown, Minnesota, team captain for the nation's top-ranked team, and a nominee for the prestigious Hockey Humanitarian Award. We'll start, Coach Hastings, with your opening comments.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for Union College hosting this regional. So far, it's been fantastic. We haven't lost a hockey game. Travel was easy. The setup from the NCAA as far as the hotel and the meals up until this point, and being able to exit our hotel and come right across the street to the rink has been seamless. We're excited about being in the NCAA tournament. It's a goal that we set way back in September, and now we're finally here, so we want to try and take advantage of that opportunity as much as we possibly can. But again, thanks to the host school and Albany for having us here. We look forward to what's in front of us.
All right, we will have a microphone we can pass around, so if you raise your hand, we can move around with the microphone. So, Ken, you want to go first?
Ken Shaw from the Daily Gazette in Schenectady. For everybody up on the dais, you guys are the #1 ranked team in the country coming into this tournament, but the #2 seed. Do you feel a little slighted that you're not the #1 overall seed?
You know what, at the end of the day, they put together criteria that we'll be judged by. We knew what it was at the beginning of the year. It is what it is, and as this tournament has shown multiple times, even in the time that this young group has been with us, with one being in his 3rd year, and others a little bit longer than that, this tournament's about getting in. Because once you get in, it's everybody's record goes away. You win, you stay, you lose, you go home. So at the end of the day, you know what, the rankings are what they are. I guess the word that everybody uses now is you've got to go prove it. So we've got to go out and earn the opportunity to be here on Saturday. And so I don't think it's being slighted. I just think we knew what the criteria was coming in, and you win the games that you can win and put yourself in a best position to have the opportunity to be in this tournament, and that's what we've done.
Yeah, I think like Coach said, I think the biggest thing is just getting in. As he said before, a lot of crazy things can happen. You've seen, 16 seeds upset #1. So at the end of the day, I don't think, those seeds really matter too much. Everyone you play now is going to be a good hockey team. So we just got to be prepared, be ready to play our game. Because like I said, anything can happen at this time.
Pete?
Pete Doherty from the Albany Times Union. Mike, can you just give us a bit of a scouting report on Harvard, what you've learned so far?
Yeah, they're talented. I believe it's 11 NHL draft picks are on their roster, which is the most of any of the schools that are here. 2, they're coached by somebody that understands very well what it is to try and play at that level and be successful at this time of the year. They're going to be prepared. They're deep up front. Their bottom end, as far as their bottom 6, is veteran laden. They've got a group down there in their lower end of their forwards that have been around the block and understand what it is to go and pay a price to win a hockey game at this time. Special teams are very good. Their power play, I think, special. And if you put them on it enough, you're playing with fire. And then the last piece is their goaltending. You saw what happened in the game against Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac won the possession game, but Harvard won the game. because they found a way to make a play. So for us, Harvard's going to be a difficult out because of the things that I've talked about, and because at this time of the year, everybody's excited about playing. They don't want their season to end. So I think they're a very good opponent, and they've earned their way here, and we look forward to the opportunity to play them tomorrow.
Okay. Next.
Kevin with the Mankato Free Press. This is from Mike and Nate. Farrell and Abruzzese are a couple of guys that you both got to know some at the Olympics last month. What attributes do those guys bring to the table that make them hard to play against?
Yeah, actually, I roomed with Z, and he's a good dude. Got to know him a little bit. He's a super smart player. I think he's a center, so I'll be matching up against him in the draws a little bit. I know he's strong on those. He's super skilled. Both of them are really skilled. They can skate. Like Coach said, their whole team's talented, and I think those two kind of are at the top of the list on that team.
From my end, one thing that Nathan just talked about was their abilities on the ice. I can tell you they're two outstanding young men that represented their families, Harvard University and USA Hockey tremendously, because they're great young men. They're driven. They're going to be playing hockey well beyond this tournament because of their abilities. And I think when you put that package together with the skill set that Nathan just talked about, they're two very impactful players.
Ryan, do anything from a goalie perspective, what you've seen from them or know from them?
Yeah, I mean, they're dangerous from what I saw at the Olympics, and just kind of watching some of their film. They're playmakers, but they can put the puck in the net too. So definitely two guys we'll have to keep an eye on and try to limit their chances.
Okay.
I want to follow up on the Olympic question from Mike and Nate. What was the experience like over there, especially dealing with the COVID situation? And you had a great preliminary round, but then lost in the quarterfinals. Can you talk about the overall experience of what that was like? Excitement, disappointment, what was it like?
I would go with a little bit of both. I mean, obviously, didn't end the way we wanted it to. Like you said, we went 3-0 in preliminary rounds and lost in the quarters. We just didn't play our best game when we needed to. But aside from that, I mean, I'm extremely grateful I got the opportunity to play. I think anybody would really. As far as COVID goes, I think they did a pretty good job of kind of just managing all of that and kind of keeping us away from other people and all that. So aside from that, being in a bubble, everything was really cool. It was a great experience for me.
Yeah, from my end, I'll just echo a little bit with Nathan. The opportunity to represent your country is special. And I think if you would have asked me at the end of the preliminary round, I'd have given you a different answer than I gave you after losing in the quarters. But your question was based upon the overall experience. It was an unbelievable experience surrounded by elite athletes. The coaching staff, David Quinn, USA Hockey, Scott Young, Brett Larson, who's also in the tournament. We try to utilize, we've always said that when a player comes back to you after being in a tournament, USA-sponsored tournament, international tournament, you always get a better player. I can tell you from that standpoint, definitely with Nathan, but hopefully I'm a little bit better coach by being able to go through the experience that we were there. And the overall experience was fantastic. Wish it would have finished a little bit differently. But the overall experience was something I'll have forever.
Next. Mike.
For Dryden, how do you feel the guys have bounced back both mentally and physically from the unique events that went down Saturday night?
Yeah, I think we've done a good job all year handling adversity, handling strange situations, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's important that we put it in the rearview mirror, like you said, and just move on, because things are going to happen pretty quick here this weekend with the noon game tomorrow. So really excited about being here, and all we care about is the next game at this point.
I guess, Coach, talking about the game on over the weekend, you say, what was that like for you guys in the dressing room and being told to have to come back out? What was that like for you, and how did you, I guess, motivate or talk to the team about that afterwards?
Well, actually, I can let the guys speak a little bit more about the locker room, because I was outside the locker room trying to navigate just the information that was flowing from Don Lucia, our commissioner, Kevin Langseth, our referee in chief, and what was going on at that time and then what was going to happen after the fact. I do remember walking in the locker room and looking at these guys, and they had their championship hats on, league championship hats on, and told them, don't get undressed yet. And the next time I came in, all those hats were in the middle of the locker room, and our leadership group, which is a lot of the guys that are up here, did a really good job of getting the guys refocused and prepared for what was going to be in front of us. So these guys did a good job, but I can let them talk more so about what was going on in the locker room.
Wyatt, for you as a senior captain, what was that time like for you, and what did the team do, I guess, to kind of regroup afterwards?
Yeah, I think our message was, just control what we can control. If we got to go back out there, we'll go back out there and earn it again. So it's kind of our message from the leadership group as a whole. I'll let Coach check on the hat situation. I just kind of decided to throw my hat in the middle of the room and just said, all right, this isn't, let's do it the right way. If we're going to have to go back out and earn it, we'll do it again. So I think that was our big thing, kind of just taking that time to regroup like we could and just build off each other's energy. In a situation like that, there's no time for complaining or negative energy. So I think our guys, our entire group did a good job kind of rallying around each other in that position there, and just, like I said, controlling what we can control. It's games of ups and downs. So I think that was our big thing, just go back out and get that little 5-minute warm-up in us, then get right back after it.
All right. Anyone else have anything? Oh, Kevin?
This can be for anybody, but last year at this, you guys had to listen to a lot of talk about previous first-round struggles. Is it nice to be here this year and not have to listen to that, and to, have the experience of last year going to a Frozen Four to draw upon?
I'll speak on it first. Just every year's a new year. But, it's the group, which these three were a part of last year, they shut the book on that once we were distinguished at the Frozen Four and started on their next journey. And so for each one of them, they're different, they're unique to themselves, and this group is trying to write their own chapter.
Yeah, I think we're just able to take some experiences off that. Like Coach said, this is a new year, though. We've had some new guys step in. They're playing big positions on our team, big roles, big minutes, and I think those guys have contributed a lot. So just for us, as three guys going through it, just kind of try to lend a hand or, some advice for maybe what the situation's going to be like. But like I said, I think those guys so far have stepped in, and played a really big part of our team this year, and I think they'll continue to do so tomorrow.
Anything else? All right, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Is Tony's viewpoint? On Goomba. Really?